Hi guys, Nikki Wardwell Sleeth here from the Society of Witchcraft. I wanted to come in and do just a quick book review today on a book that I just finished reading. And while it's fresh in my mind, I wanted to give it a good shout out because I think it's really, really important. The book is called Spirit Voices: The Mysteries and Magic of North Asian Shamanism by David Shi. And I think that um, even if you don't feel a personal pull toward Asian magic per se, if you do any spirit work or magical work at all, um, especially if you involve other people in your work, as far as like clients or readers or things like that, then um, you owe it to the world to read this. I really believe that. So I was fortunate to get to meet and spend a little time with David at a conference recently, and um, he was lovely and put up with my sort of Gemini ways of asking questions about belief and wanting to, trade philosophies and things like that. And he was a really good sport about it. Anyway, this book is very, very thorough in terms of giving a detailed history of all of the different major branches, the different tribal traditions of North Asian shamanism. Um, and some of those histories are dicey and including, modern issues between those traditions and the government and what the implications are for practice and the ability to perpetuate these beautiful traditions today. David also goes into not just the history, but very, very detailed descriptions of the various practice differences belief between one tribe and another, what they believe, um, the garb, the tools, the types of ceremonies, how one becomes a shaman, which is very important, especially with respect to the idea that in most of the traditional cases, one needs to be born to it, and that needs to be displayed, obviously seen by the other shamans. And I think that we have to understand the nature of these rich, ongoing indigenous traditions in order to be able to operate respectfully, and to make sure that we're always portraying ourselves accurately and not trying to claim we're something we're not. And having the perspective of this book can give folks a really good barometer about that. Um, it just is important as well in the way that reading it helps you keep the beauty of the ancient spiritual magic of that whole part of the world in your mind. Awareness of it for us as a bigger society, a global society, having awareness for these regional traditions is important in helping to preserve them. Um, so I just think that David did a quite excellent job at this. It is a dense, detailed, filled book, but very accessible read. I do feel like this is something that will be useful for me as a reference. Having read it, I know that I can go back to all of these various sections for details if I need to recall them. And I just think it's very important. David also gives a lot of his personal story of how he came into the practice as an Asian American, and what it took um, to grow it and go through the traditional steps of um, of gaining this immense responsibility. So I highly recommend Spirit Voices, um, The Mysteries and Magic of North Asian Shamanism.